Shavkat, phenomenal dude. I think for him, he's got to get a top 10 opponent now, maybe even top 5. I don't know, I'm not even sure what Neil Magny was ranked at that point, but for him to go out there and do what he did to Magny after Khamzat was calling out all these other guys, and then Magny was calling out Khamzat. Why is he calling out Khamzat? I felt like Neil Magny had some type of secret code that we didn't know about. That if he were to go fight Khamzat, he was going to shock the world. Now he faces a different undefeated guy who's 16-0 now in Shavkat. And the fight goes that way. 2 rounds, catches the cake in the first round, pretty much beats him up on top, landing some really solid strikes. Neil Magny, for the most part, protected himself relatively well. Couldn't really get back to his feet. Second round, more so the same, takes him down, puts him in the guillotine. The fight's over. It was like beautiful poetry, in my personal opinion. With that being said, I think Shavkat's the real deal. He is up there and should be hyped up as much as a guy like Khamzat Chimaev because he is as damn good as Chimaev. His striking, I would say, argue that it is better than Chimaev's. The grappling is relatively close to Chimaev, and that's what makes this interesting in this weight class now because you got 2 undefeated studs in this weight class, both from that Caucasus-type region overseas in Europe, and they're both running through people right now. Obviously, Chimaev ran into Gilbert Burns, and that showed that, hey, man, we might need to slow him down a little bit. But Shavkat taking out Magny the way he did shows a lot of promise. And if he could get through him like that, it would be interesting to see what he does with a guy like Burns and how competitive that fight is. And you can make the argument that Burns won that fight over Chimaev. You know, so that's how good that division is right now. Now you got Shavkat here. I don't know what's next for him, but you got Colby Covington. You got Masvidal. I don't think they're going to give him to Masvidal. I don't think that's the right move for Masvidal, in my personal opinion. I think Masvidal, you got to get him a win so he can keep his star power, keep making money, and that's really it. It's more of a career move thing. You got to pick the right fights. You know, it's one thing to say I'll fight anyone because we all will, but for the most part, you want to pick the right fights for some of your stars, kind of like how they did for Conor McGregor, Sean O'Malley, that type of thing. So at this point, it's not a title fight, so give Masvidal a fight that he can win. Easier. I'm not saying he can't beat Shavkat, so let me be clear on that. But give him a fight that's a little bit more favorable in terms of the stylistic matchup. Outside of that, I mean, 170 is starting to come alive, and I like the future having these 2 studs in there and having them avoid each other. And now I feel like they're on a collision course right now. I think one more win for Shavkat, and he's in that title conversation picture. It just depends on who the UFC gives him and how he looks in that performance.